Hi Aries, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome back to those of you who have been here. Welcome to those of you who are new. My name's Jackie. I do weekly readings for all 12 astrological archetypes. I mix tarot with astrology, numerology, and psychology. And let's get into things. Guys, as always, I'm going to timestamp in the description box below. Remember, these are general messages. I don't know you or your particular birth chart or how the energies are speaking to your particular natal chart. So take what resonates, throw out the rest, and don't try to make it fit. In the description box below, you're going to find a timestamp for this opening of I'm going to be throwing down oracle cards connected to the astrology that's going on for your archetype in the sky right now. Very important stuff, so please don't skip over this part just to contextualize. Then I'm going to be throwing down just energies for a general spread, connecting it to all parts of life, and then I'm going to do a separate relationship read at the end. So hop around as you wish. My videos do tend to run a little bit on the long side, so if you don't have time, no worries. And let's get into things, our Aries friends. So starting out on the 16th, so these energies are really going to be covering from like the 16th to the 22nd. So we have Venus entering Libra on the 16th. And I did that extended love read about a week and a half ago or so for the month of August. So I did talk about it then. But for those of you who didn't catch that video, what does it mean when Venus enters Libra? Well, generally speaking, we're more inclined to be like very charming, very fair, rather than aggressive, right? In order to get what we want, but we really like things to be done the right way, and we're very turned off by any sort of aggressive kind of energy right now, like from people who are maybe not as awake to the energies or in touch with themselves. The shadow side of this energy is dependency, is inconsistency, is superficiality. So in an attempt, though, to avoid any sort of unpleasant situations in that Libra energy, we could easily gloss over deeper issues at play in any of our relationships. So you want to make sure that you really try your best not to sort of acquiesce to something that at the end of the day is really not going to make you feel comfortable in the long run, because then you could end up silently regretting things that you end up promising yourself over the course of the next month, right? So that's the 16th. And then going to the 18th, we have Jupiter is forming a semi-square to Chiron. Now, generally speaking, this is a minor aspect. It's subtle, but it's worth mentioning because it can end up manifesting as a time where you're going to feel very hungry for meaning and understanding. And I feel like this is really going to kind of speak to what I'm leading into next. So you're going to feel very hungry for meaning and understanding. And it can be very difficult to align yourself with an exact personal philosophy or belief system that honestly reflects your core. Honestly. So don't worry if you're feeling like this, right? It's easy to be led astray by beliefs and ideas right now, and you might experience some kind of crisis of faith. If that's happening, pull back. It's really important right now to look within yourself to figure out a greater understanding of what you really need or believe, rather than blindly following something that doesn't really serve your purpose, right? Because then we're going in the next day into the 19th, we're going into that Uranus retrograde in Taurus. Guys, this is kind of a big deal on the heels of Lionsgate, conjunct that Leo moon energy that we felt last week, right? Very important to understand, right? Because during this cycle with Uranus retrograde, our desire to make changes in our lives can turn inward, where we really are getting more in touch with what might be holding us back from living more spontaneously and authentically. And we can be less overtly rebellious and more inclined to go within, maybe even follow the rules out in the 3D world or 3D experience, but we're doing a lot of shifting internally. And that, I feel like this energy absolutely speaks to that new moon in Leo conjunct Lionsgate, right, that was going on, that hit on 8/8, really opened up on the 11th, to be honest with you, which is actually the day I'm doing this reading. But it's really going to be speaking to this full moon in Aquarius that's sitting opposite the Leo sun. I feel like that very strongly, right? Which is going to be hitting on the 22nd. So, and this is going to be the second full moon in Aquarius this year. The first one was on the 23rd. So again, this is happening in Aquarius, but it's a little different this time, guys, because it's very cuspy. It's super cuspy. It's at 29 degrees and 37 minutes. So it's right there next to Pisces. So we can't not talk about that. And we can't talk about the fact that the sun moves into Virgo the next day, right? So right now, we're going to be waking up to feelings that are going to likely push us into action, right? With this, because we're feeling that new sun, that sun energy in Virgo, which is hitting the next day. So we're going to be feeling that way. But the Leo sun is very proud, right? Very intensely individual, focused on the self, right? And what the self likes to do. It's a very me-based energy. While that Aquarius moon does value independence, it wants us to also recognize other as a we-based energy. So it's like, what do you want? What does other want? And how is that tension being dealt with, right? Now, it's really going to be very interesting here, though. A couple of things I want to mention. One, we can suddenly feel this sort of like bursting forth with proclamations and this outpouring of epiphanies that seem fresh and new, but really these feelings, or light bulb realizations we can call them, have likely been hanging in the ethers of your mind, not yet rationalized, kind of like these feelings that you've sort of been poking at you. And this is a time of awakening to the needs of others, but also not only how we need others, but also how we connect with others. And is it healthy? Is it not healthy? And that's something that's going to be really important for us to understand right now. You know, going back to this energy of Uranus, Uranus is the planet of awakening and change, and it's shaking things up for us right now. And for many of us, it's turning things on their head. So we could be forced to see things in a new way. As a result of Uranus kicking things up, we may have received, or we might be receiving, or have already received some sort of information that changes what we once knew, or what we can find ourselves feeling. Right? We can likely feel very scattered right now, uncertain about something that we at one point thought we were super certain about. And the thing is, because Uranus likes to bring elements of surprise, it's not always possible to predict exactly how things will unfold. That's going to really resonate according to your energy. But I can tell you, Aries, that just from the perspective that this energy is very, very much alive in your second house, which is about money, work, income, daily routines, your values, your possessions, your priorities, what you value. How you feel about yourself is also the second house. There's going to be a lot of kicking up and changes about how do you feel about yourself when it comes to how you're connecting with others in your life. How do you feel about yourself in your work, where you're at? Very interesting energy that's going to be going on right now. But I can tell you one thing, that even if it's uncomfortable, it's powerful. Because Uranus, this energy of uncertainty, even though it could be uncomfortable, is a very powerful teacher. And it's a very powerful teacher specifically in learning how to detach, stay in the present moment, and open ourselves up to our full potential. Because as that saying goes, when nothing is certain, anything is possible. And also this Uranian energy, very connected to third eye openings. Don't worry if you don't know what that is. It's just about raising our consciousness, especially in areas where we may have a blind spot to. So this could be more noticeable right now. So really, guys, I want to end it on this. And I'm going to be ending this portion of the astrology for all the signs. So if you're cross-watching, I want you to ask yourself, where can I view any uncertainty I'm feeling right now in my life as an open field of possibility to help myself grow into the life meant for me? So where are the question marks hanging? Where are they hanging? And where can you turn those question marks into literally a field of possibility so that you can grow? So we have, let's take this now to the energy here. I mean, guys, I just want to say straight up, you have Chiron retrograde in your first house of self, and it's sitting opposite Libra, Venus energy in relationships. I have to tell you, excellent energy for healing relationships, for working things through, for recognizing where things haven't been handled the best way, having to do with those spaces. We have this Leo full moon, the Leo sun energy sitting opposite the full moon. That's happening between your 5th and 11th house. So that has to do with your creativity, falling in love, love affairs, romance, fertility, the idea of having children, issues going on with your kids. And it's going to be, you're going to be sort of reasoning this out with where it is that you hope for your life to go. What is it that you wish for your future? Looking at, the possibility of any sort of entrepreneurial activities, getting yourself involved with new friends, new situations, having that baby, establishing that romantic connection, whatever it is, there's going to be a lot of light shown on it. Realizations when it comes to this relationship between relationships and where you wish your life to go, children and where your life is going, creative efforts, entrepreneurial efforts, and where you feel like your life is heading. So with that, let's get into the oracles. We have the idea of self-sabotage that's being clarified by poised, that's being clarified by receiving, that's being clarified by correcting mistakes. So Aries, let's just look at this. Where have you been self-sabotaging yourself? Look at that first, right? Because you're very poised to receive some sort of gift that may be right in front of you, where you have the opportunity to correct any mistakes up to this point and heal. You may be in a space where you're very open to allowing somebody else to correct their mistakes. That person in your relationship, a friendship, a family member, a business partner, any area in your life where there might be some forgiveness. And not allowing that to come to fruition is where the self-sabotage is. So you want to try to not dig yourself in. Now, what if you were in some sort of situation with a narcissist? What if you were in a situation with somebody who is just energetically all wrong for you? They're just toxic. The self-sabotage is in recognizing that you would allow yourself to stay in that, and you're very poised to allow yourself to move on and correct that. Shake the dead wood off your tree. Get rid of that negative energy, because if you're not, that is where the self-sabotage is. So it depends on where you are in your life, and you're going to know intuitively which side of the fence you fall on. The next step is, how teachable are you? Being clarified by truth be told. Always a little bit of a challenging energy here, hearing that truth. After the storm, and what happens after the storm? Going back to the saying I just did, all the dead wood is shaken off the tree after a storm. There's peace. The hardest part is over. The chaos is over. There's peace after a storm. But now what's left standing? What's left standing at this point? And it really is a time to have faith. So how teachable are you to look at the truth of a situation and to see where is the strength left in a relationship, a connection, some sort of situation, and where is the weakness that's been illuminated, right? Again, you want to think about that. Really good visual that I'm getting is, thinking about a tree in a wicked storm, and it's shaking all about. The loose branches that really weren't, really entrenched right into the body of the trees, they're going to fall away. Only the strongest elements are left standing, and that you have to believe, right? So the next step, we have Phoenix rising, beautiful. We have come to the edge. Do what scares you. Go in that direction. Release the dark wound. Let love live. Release the dark wound and let love live. Forgiveness, guys. Trust the divine plan, whatever that means for you. So if releasing the dark wound, let love live, if that means releasing something that's toxic, releasing that person, getting out of that toxic job, ending that toxic family connection, you have to do it. If it's getting out of your own way, where you've been holding yourself back, looking at that square in the face. But no matter what, it is about coming to the edge, which is always about doing what you don't feel totally comfortable in doing in order for you to transform. Because the Phoenix rising is about that bird, right, rising from the dust, right, for lack of a better term. So something has to come down and die and end in order for there to be this rebirth. So it's very much like the holistic vibe that I'm getting here is this forgiveness, this rebirthing process, having to either do with relationship, your career, or just entering this next phase of your life, Aries. That's what I have for you for that particular portion. So I hope that was helpful for you in some way. Now let's throw down some cards just in general and see what comes up for our Aries friends. Messages for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus that might help them out right now as they navigate the week of the 16th to the 22nd. And I'm really going to say beyond that, because the energies that are heading there, they're going to be sort of rolling out now. Justice, strength. So we have the Justice being clarified by the Strength reverse, and the Justice is really about looking at the fairness of a situation. So if this has to do with a relationship, balance and fairness are very important for you to look at right now in any relationship that you're in. As you remember, Justice energy is a Libra energy, and Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus really wants us to feel good about whatever it is that we're in. This is also a 7th house energy, having to do with contracts, having to do with marriage, having to do with our soul connection, guys, but it's also how we show up in our interpersonal style when we're involved in relationship, right? So have you been fair? Have people been very fair to you, regardless of what it's in? If it has to do with career or money, you might feel or experience some sort of challenging situation that feels like a test. Now, this does mean that things are going to go well and in your favor. It does mean any kind of negotiation, anything where there needs to be a meeting of the minds, even an interview, is going to go well. If money's been an issue, things are set to improve. Any sort of legal issue, right? Because this has to do with the lower courts. Any kind of legal issue, including property of all kinds, can be resolved if that's a thing. Papers that need to be signed, if that's a thing, things will progress nicely here. But we have that kind of like, starting out the energy, but that's being clarified by the Strength reverse. Now, this is indicating weakness and difficulties with decision or making or taking a risk, or having a hard time dealing with any kind of confrontation. So you might ignore your instincts in the name of safety. But you want to be careful of doing that, because that can end up stunting a situation from being able to grow, whether it's a relationship or whether it's any kind of situation that you're trying to progress forward. So just be careful of overthinking or analysis paralysis, right? It's really better to face whatever it is and just be grateful for the lesson in whatever's going on, because whatever is going on here is not going to just go away. So somebody's ego might be a thing that needs to be addressed. There might need to be some balance had in a situation, because we have the Strength upright is about balance, and Justice is another energy of balance. So it just seems like there's a part of your life right now, Aries, where things aren't really like completely balanced, right? And we have that being clarified by the 7 of Swords in the reverse, which is about somebody being caught, but then like the light shining on something, and then this attempt to make amends. After there's something realized or some sort of truth comes out. And then we have the King of Cups, which indicates a need existing to settle a conflict. Now, this could be within yourself or with somebody else. It doesn't really matter. But I do feel like you're not 100% clear on how to actually handle it. And the advice here is always go with your heart, right? Because it's a cup energy. This is Libra and Scorpio. So when we have Libra, again, it's that 7th house energy, Justice. So anything having to do with a contract, marriage, business situation, and kind of legal situation, it does seem like things are changing, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. It's about transformation. So something needs to change, but something needs to be handled in a balanced way. You have to figure out what's not balanced in whatever part of your life you're resonating with this in. Now, we do have the 9 of Swords that's working underneath the Justice energy right before the 7 of Cups. So this tells me that you're experiencing a lot of anxiety, or at least trouble sleeping. Some of you might be dealing with some depression right now, because this is a Mars and Gemini energy. It's very internal, because Mars is always like, what should you be doing? Because it's Mars, right? Mars is about, are you on the right path? And it's in Gemini, which is very much like the mental realm, right? It's swords, it's air. So you might be feeling like, I'm not responding very well to the external stress of what's going on, because I don't know how to handle it exactly. It's like, where's the rule book kind of thing? because I feel like things are very up in the air, right? Because in that, clarifying that, we have the Seven of Cups, which is choices and confusion, commitment issues, not sure what's real, what's not. Things feel up in the air, but one thing you know, you might not know the answer, but you know something new is starting. You feel the ground rumbling. You do, as this is a Venus and Scorpio energy as well. So sort of like a lot of these energies are very connecting here. Clarifying that we have an offer coming in. This is some sort of proposal that's going to kick up a lot of emotions within you. So this could be some sort of proposal within an existing relationship, like, let's get married, let's move in together, let's fix this, let's have a baby, let's buy a business, let's move, let's sell our house, let's have that family member come in, whatever it is, right? Or for some of you, this is being very wrapped up in a new partnership because, hello, you have Chiron retrograde in your first house with Venus sitting in Libra across the wheel from you in relationships. Yeah, some of you may be meeting somebody new. Just whatever it is that you, however you're experiencing it, guys, make sure you're open to real. Like, have your spidey senses turned up to anybody kind of presenting themselves under any sort of false persona where they can't really drop the act of who they really are or what they really want? Doesn't mean that they're, if anything seems too good to be true, just take it slow. It might be amazing, but just give it, try not to jump in too deeply. You know, like, let's say you and your partner have discussed getting married, and then and maybe things have been a little trippy in your relationship, and they're like, no, I want to get married. Don't jump in that box with them. Just say, okay, well, why don't we talk about it? How, like, pragmatically, how's this going to roll out? Let's talk facts. You know what I mean? It's like, but I feel like it's going to be good no matter whether this is a business situation, relationship, whatever it is, because then we have the Lover's energy, which is all about choice, first of all. So what I like about this, if this has to do with career, if you're stressed out about your career and you're confused, but you feel like you don't want to do what you were doing anymore, you want to enter this new realm, I feel like something is either going to be offered to you or occur to you during this time. And I feel like you're going to be very aware of what matters, because in the Lover's energy, it's not only about choices, but there are going to be choices, but one option might seem easier, but you're going to feel pushed to look closer at a situation to make sure what is the right thing for you in the long run with less confusion, right? You don't want to do something just for the money. This is about making sure that something really resonates with you on a very deep level, and that's going to be super obvious to you. So that's something that I really like for those of you having to do with any sort of financial situation. If it has to do with a relationship, somebody coming in and offering something, yes, and this is you saying, okay, hold on, we have issues, right? Because the Lover's energy, you can't see it in this particular card, but in the traditional Rider-Waite, the Lovers have a cloud between them with Archangel Raphael over it, right? So the cloud is conflict, issues, things that have to be worked out in a relationship, right? Nothing's perfect. If you think your relationship is perfect, then it's more of a mess than you can even realize, right? Nothing is perfect, right? You could have periods of perfect, but nothing can be perfect over the trajectory, right? So it's this recognition that, yeah, we're going to work at this together. We're going to do it together. Whatever is coming in, all right, let's sit down and talk about how we're going to act, because it's a Gemini energy, so there's talking, right? Because Gemini rules communication. So let's sit down and talk about how we're actually going to work at this together. Because if we could do that, we're going to have the blessing of Archangel Raphael coming in to help us out. So then working with that is the Temperance energy. I like that this is on the lower left because this is a very important position for me. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of cooperation, moderation. There's going to be reconciliation and reconciling of things that haven't felt comfortable for you. So if this has to do with a relationship, this can be an improvement after a difficult time period, because there's communication and because there's a new level of trust and patient cooperation, right? In numerology, this is the Hierophant. So this is sitting down and talking about what's expected. How do we have to conform to things in order to make it work better, in order for us to grow, in order for us to have what we need to have. And I really like this energy this week, considering that the sun is going into Virgo. on that late on the 22nd, because there's going to be a lot more focus on the details of our lives. There's going to be a lot of that going on, and you know, it's really, it's in your day-to-day experience. It's in your mental, physical, and emotional health, that house. It also has to do with your work environment. So you're figuring stuff out that's going to end up impacting your day-to-day. I really like it. And so in this temperance energy, though, I feel like you're realizing that whatever hasn't been working, you have to leave it. As a Chariot really is about swift progress and change and determination, and really positive energy, though, away, though, from toxicity, towards what feels better for you. So if this has to do with career, quick changes and progress in some sort of business situation, bringing something into fruition that you've been working on, whatever it is, it's positive, it's exciting, it's really good. There's nothing to be mad at here. No, right? Some of you may be deciding to travel away from home, which can end up being like a very good thing. Now, if this has to do with relationships, some sort of situation within the relationship is expedited, right? So we have to look at the energies around it, right? Do we get positive energies around it? So then it's going to be away from toxicity towards the positive. And temperance is positive, and so is Eight of Pentacles. As 8 is all about mastery. This is a big number this month, right? Not only within the 8th month, right? But, you know, that 8-8, that's, the, you know, Lionsgate type of energy, particularly for those of you who have a life path 8 number. Very, very profound time, guys, between now and the end of the fall. Really powerful energy for those of you who are a life path 8 number. If you don't know how to figure that out, let me just tell you real quick. If you don't know, take your birthday. Like, I'll give you mine. I happen to be a life path 8, and I'm not saying that because I'm just saying this just because I know this to be true, because I know about these things. But my birthday is June 6, 1967. So I take 6 plus 6 plus 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 7, and we whittle that down to the number 8. So my life path is an 8. Okay, so figure that out. Those of you who have a life path, everybody's experiencing these new beginnings right now, but it's especially profound for life path 8 people right now because of this energy with Uranus. It really is. Okay, so nice energy, mastering some sort of work, some sort of connection, like really getting in front of something beautiful. It's a Sun of Virgo energy. So hello, I mean, everything that we just talked about. And then we have finally the Two of Swords, really nice energy, Moon in Libra. Why? Because you're going to be pushed. You're in a space where you're in an emotional stalemate. You need to make a decision. You want to protect yourself, but you're not going to be allowed. This situation's not going away. You're really better off facing something head on, resolving it, stand your ground, say what you think. Again, it's a sword energy, it's air, it's Moon in Libra, it's your emotions. Now, the thing is, when the Moon is in Libra, there's a lot of confusion there, but there's going to be a call for you to figure out once and for all, what is it that you want to do? What direction do you want to go in? There's so much positive energy here. Something new is coming in. Don't be afraid of the new. Don't be afraid of it, Aries. Don't be afraid if it's not going to roll out exactly according to your particular specifications. It doesn't mean that there's not a lot of value in it, right? Because there's something that's really beautiful that wants to happen here. So I really like it. And I feel like I know I'm going to get people commenting saying, how could you leave us on a Two of Swords? So, all right, let me pull a couple of Rider-Waite on the Two of Swords energy. Let's get some outcome energy for this emotional stalemate that Aries is feeling. All right, all right. Okay, we have the Sun. The Empress. One more, please. 5 of Wands. Might not go exactly what I just said. Might not go exactly how you want it, right? I mean, this is a Saturn and Leo energy. Battle of the wills, lack of agreement. So we have the Sun. You're going to have all the tools in your toolbox to make something happen, to make something grow, but you may not have absolute agreement with either your intimate partner, your business partner, that family member, whatever it is. You have to reason it out. This is a minor arcana. It's not that big a deal. Pay very close attention if it has to do with signing any documents. Read the bottom line. Act accordingly. If this has to do with This might be a situation where you guys need to agree to disagree here right now, because I feel like there's such a push for you guys to have healing in your life right now. It's bananas. Between now and December 28th for you, Chiron retrograde until December 28th in your first house of self, your identity, your approach to life, there's all that healing going on there. But it might, sometimes healing's not very comfortable. Sometimes we have to take approaches that don't feel totally comfortable for us. So that's what I have for you there. Now let's pull some energies on for those of you in relationship. Oh boy. Some action going on here. Okay. Okay, so in the past, coming into this, we have the Eight of Swords energy, which is really about feeling very restricted and trapped, thinking things are never going to change. Anxiety, right? Feeling like something that you're in once felt really right for you wasn't feeling right anymore. But it's really kind of getting very heavy. It was getting very heavy in your head, getting in the way of you being able to concentrate, because you didn't understand what to do. You were in a space of like, what do I do about this? And definitely needing a lot of determination to pull yourself out, even if it means swallowing your pride. Some of you may be reaching an epiphany where this is not obviously not going to resonate for all of you, but if there's any sort of addiction that's at play here and it's been getting in the way of relationship, recognizing that maybe you need to go to rehab or you need to go to therapy to work on whatever it is. Doesn't have to be to alcohol or drugs. It doesn't have to be to gambling. Could be an addiction to anything that you feel like was maybe getting in the way of relationship, either you or somebody that you were dealing with, right? The relationship energies can always be vice versa because the energies are too enmeshed. So right now, though, we have arguments going on here. Five of Wands. Again, going back to this idea of lack of agreement, strong opinions, fighting to be heard. Now, this could happen very internally, right? In the Saturn and Leo, because Leo energy is very much about falling in love, love affairs, romance, feeling connected, feeling like you're best friends with your partner. Leo also has to do with fertility and children. And when we have Saturn in there, there might be this energy where maybe you're having a hard time conceiving, or you're having a hard time having a meeting of the minds when it comes to a relationship that you're in, or maybe you're having a hard time meeting somebody that you want to just get into a relationship with. You're like, yeah, I'm meeting a lot of people, but nobody who's really doing it for me. And what is the challenge here is the death in the reverse. So death reverse here is you might be feeling anyway unwilling to let something go, to let either a person or a situation that's impacting the relationship go, which can create a lot of anxiety and obsessive thoughts for you. And as painful as it is, there needs to be an understanding that something's reached its expiration date in your life, at least in the way that it was. And there's nothing that you really can do at this point except to just accept the situation. And I know you don't like to hear this, but accept the lessons that were meant to be learned in all of it, right? And allow the release. Be kind to yourself always, right? Allow the release to happen in layers. It's okay to feel confused and broken for a bit. But that's the challenge here. The challenge is that. The challenge is that. So some of you may be in this space where you're trying desperately to heal from a relationship that didn't work out, and you just feel like you have cement shoes on. You're just not able to let the person go and move forward. So you have this like metaphorical do not disturb sign energetically on you, where even if you're saying you're going out trying to meet people to try to get past this other relationship, or at least to help you heal, you're not meeting those people because you still have to like work through that energy. That's going to resonate with some of you, but others of you could just resonate, as I just mentioned, having to do with relationships. So the situation right now is, the basis rather right now is your happiness, right? It's your happiness. You want to manifest your wishes. Some of you would just really want to meet somebody new, right, in relationship. Others of you are just really focused on feeling very connected to your heart and being able to grow something, right? So Jupiter in Pisces. So being able to grow that dream that you have in your mind's eye about a relationship and what it means. But the current situation, we have the Page of Swords. Not but, you know, this is a personification of air. So I do feel like you're going to be in a very, like, in a mental realm, right? This is, again, because it's a personification of air. If you're dealing with a Page of Swords person, you might be dealing with somebody who's kind of insensitive and forthright with their words, but is ultimately on your side. And they're on your side. They want to help you work through something, even though it might feel a little uncomfortable when they approach you, when they speak to you. As a general influence, though, this is some sort of useful information coming in, right? And you getting some sort of help from somebody to work your way through something. So this could be anything from maybe you see a video on YouTube that's helpful to you, or you going to a therapist, or, you know, maybe you going and meeting, if you're in a space where maybe you're looking to end a marriage, you meeting with a lawyer. It could be anything like that, but some sort of useful information. Maybe you're starting marriage counseling, something like that, or somebody who matters to you comes in and gives you some advice. So what do you need to look at here? This is the recommended approach right here, is the Queen of Wands, which is stepping into your power. Stepping into your power. And be very self-aware right now, and be focused on the right things in relationship. Easier said than done, but focus on the fixing, focus on the positives, and then work from there. And then figure out how to fix the things that feel off kilter right now. Now, the energy that's external to you, we have the 10 of coins. So it does seem like you are dealing with either the energy surrounding you, right? Because some of you may be single, or a person that you're dealing with right now. This 10 of coins energy, somebody wants to work on the marriage, work on maturing your family, having a child, having whatever it would be to your story that would create a deepening of commitment. So for some of you, it's getting married. Some of you may be married. Maybe it's having a baby. Maybe some of you are past that. Maybe it's moving to a new place, or maybe it's buying a new business, whatever it is, but it has to do with sharing values, inheritance, legacy, property, family, maturity, whatever it is, all right? Because Pentacles isn't only money, it's mental, physical, and emotional connection. So it's the energy either that's surrounding you right now, or how somebody that you're dealing with is feeling about you in the situation. But your block is the 4 of Cups, and you want to be careful with this, because this is like the checklist card. This is you feeling very restless, maybe even apathetic, maybe even bored or disillusioned about relationships in general, or this particular relationship, where it's like, am I ever going to be happy? Am I ever going to meet the person that I really want to meet? It's like this checklist. Well, this isn't working because of this, this, and that, and I can't go out with that person because of that, that, and that. And all of those things may be true, but you need to heal something within you that is still unhealed. And that's serving up as a block for you right now, is that recognition. Again, though, this could always be a person that you're dealing with that's manifesting in their energy. Again, these could always be vice versa. So we have the King of Wands in the near future. Now, the King of Wands is a great energy because it's about being a free spirit. It's a Cancer and Leo energy. But you want to be careful here, because there's this standards that's sort of attached to the King of Wands. And what I mean by that is you're going to have a lot of energy to kind of just express what it is that you want in a relationship, right? But you don't want to allow the idea of perfectionism to get in the way, that things need to be a certain way, that things have to be like this in order for this relationship to work. No, you have to be like this, or they have to be like this. And you have to be very sensitive if they're pushing that on you. No, you have to do this. Oh, everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Let's be friends. Let's be friends, right? Because we don't want to. This is an energy where we shouldn't be judging each other based on our belief system, right? It's like stay in the moment, address whatever situation is at hand related to the relationship. And this is a really good opportunity for deepening, to be honest with you, because this can be really hearing in your partner, or you being able to express why you think a certain way, why you feel a certain way, why you do what you do, you being able to hear why they do what they do, in order to incite not only a friendship within the connection, but security. Again, because it's Cancer and Leo. Cancer is all about safety and security, and Leo has to do with love, but friendship as well, in love, and children and family and all of that. And the final outcome card is Justice, which is very nice here, of course, because it's about balance and fairness, and trying to look at things objectively to figure out a win-win situation. So there's got to be some sort of balancing here. And make sure that, you know, you're keeping your finger, though, on how well are your emotional needs being met in the relationship, and how well are you meeting a partner's emotional needs, right? No one-way streets here. No one-way streets, right? So that's what I have for those of you either in relationship, going into relationship. And I'm going to pull some cards now for those of you who are in separation. We can be in separation even when we share a bed with somebody. You know what I mean? It's like you're just worlds away. Let me pull and then we'll talk. Past life connection going on here. Passion. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of emotion here. All right, yeah, definitely not together right now. Definitely still in their energy. All right, I feel like I need to pull. I'm sighing for you, Aries. All right, I'm going to pull clarifiers for the tarot. But anyway, let's get through the oracles. I know we've been together in past lives. I recognize you. You were never a stranger to me, and that's being clarified by passion, insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. So you guys had a lot of fun together. Our connection still affects me. Still, I still feel you on my soul. Two of Cups. Two of Cups, mutually supportive energy here, right? Harmony returning if things have been difficult. Next up, I settled for second best because they don't deserve you. And then we have that being clarified by the Chaser in a codependent relationship. Fear of abandonment issues. This is somebody who's afraid to be alone, or maybe you are, Aries. You've been in my dreams. That happens a lot when Uranus is retrograde. I could tell you that, my friends. And then we have the Star. Holy smokes. Okay, here we go. You are destined to be with this person. You are, this is hope and guidance and a change for the better after a difficult time. All right. I'm coming to you with an offer. Oh, Aries, yes. Okay. I'm coming to you with an offer. Will you say yes? When I offer you my hand, will you take it? Guys, look what's clarifying. Engagement ring. Engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, union. All right, before you come after me, this is metaphorical, understand. The commitment, let's go for the commitment. I don't know if they're going to show up with like an anchor for your hand. I don't know, but it's what it's saying. I'm insanely attracted to you. Oh, guys, come on, look, we got the sun. This is a very good in separation reading, I have to tell you. Beautiful. Nothing to be mad at here, because the sun, guys, means growing a beautiful connection. You guys might even take a vacation together. Really beautiful energy of success. Very nice energy. Does it mean overnight? No. What does the sun mean? The sun means you having all of the tools in your toolbox to work out whatever the issues are. Keeping it real. Doesn't mean that suddenly, you guys are going to be riding unicorns and butterflies are going to be flying out of your ears. It means that you're going to have, keeping it real, what you need in a very practical and pragmatic way to work through whatever's been going on. So that's what I have for you guys for this week. I hope these messages were helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. If you found value in this video, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.